Hey lovelies, it's your girl here, Joanne. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be showing you how I made this beautiful igbo blouse you're seeing on your screen. I've already posted the cutting tutorial, and if you've not seen that video yet, go and check it out. It's on my description box down below. Trust me, it is well detailed. And also, if you have not subscribed to this channel, please do well to click the subscribe button. Turn on your post notification bell for more videos. Like and share this video so that other people can get to watch and learn. So let's get into the tutorial. Welcome back. This is the front bodice. I have added the fusible interfacing to it. Here in Nigeria it is called wadding. I added both to the sides and the center front. Now I am going to be showing you the lining. I have added paper stay to it. Whatever you have to add to your lining, please go ahead and add whatever you have to it to give you some stability. This is the back bodice, this is the lining, this is the net part. This is how I have achieved this. So now I am going to be placing the front pieces together. Okay, so this is the side, and now I am going to take one side and add it up to the center, and I'm going to be sewing this by 0.5 inch. So this is the center. Now I am placing it on the side, one of the sides. I am now going to use my pin to pin all around. This is the bustier part. This is where I am going to be sewing. So starting from the under bust, I match the under bust together and I pin it down. I am going to also pin it down all the way, and also pin the side, the upper part, like so. I'm going to pin the upper part, as you can see. So while pinning this, try to match it together. Okay, match it together and pin it very well. Ensure everything is in place like you're seeing me do. Then go ahead and use your pin to place it in, keep it in place, so that when you're stitching it will be a lot easier for you. So after pinning, this is what I had, and don't mind up this part that is not complete. It doesn't matter, we are going to trim that part out anyways. So I'm going to be repeating the same thing for this part. Okay, first I'm placing the under bust together, and I'm going to use my pin to help keep it in place. Then from there I'm going to pin other parts.
Our hearts beat to the city streets. We began to feel the fire.
So after I was done with that, this is what I have. So I'll head over to my machine now and stitch by 1/2 inch. So after stitching, this is what I had, and this is how it's looking. Now I'm going to take my scissors and notch these parts as you're seeing here. So you're going to notch to close to your stitch, but ensure it doesn't cut your allowance. Yeah, so you don't cut through your stitch. Sorry, ensure you don't cut through your stitch. So this is how it is. After opening this is how it is. So now I'm going to open the seam, and I'm going to be using my iron to do that, to iron it flat. I'll do the same thing for the lining. Okay, so guys, this is the back part, and I'm going to place the net on top of the back part like this. So this is the right side of the doll face facing the wrong side of the net part. Okay, so the right side of the net part is facing me, so don't be confused. Now I'm going to lay it together. I am working with a net. It is not actually too easy to work with this fabric, okay, with the net fabric. So I'm making sure that everything is in place. Now I'm going to bring my lining and place it on top of it. Note how I'm doing this. I am placing the doll face fabric first, right side facing me, and I went ahead and placed the net fabric wrong side on the net fabric, and the right side of the net fabric facing me. Now on the lining, I placed the lining right side facing the right side of the net, as you can see, and the wrong side of the lining is facing me. Then I'm going ahead now to pin it down, to pin the neck part down. I'm going to be sewing here by 1/2 inch or 0.5 inch. And after I'm done with sewing the neck, I am going to notch the neck part and make a top stitch on the neck part. Then I'll sew the down part also by 0.5 inch. So first and foremost, what you do here is to sew the neck part, top stitch. After top stitching, sew the down part. So for the down part, if you like, you can top stitch. If you don't like, you can leave it like that, but make sure you notch. Okay, so after that, sewing the down part, I am going to sew the sides by half of an inch also, or 0.5 inch. I'll do that and show you guys. So this is what I have. Okay, after sewing, this is the neck, the front part, this is the neck, and this is the down part. I've already I made a top stitch on the down part. So also on the neck, I made a top stitch. So this is how it is. I'm going to show you how I turn this over. Okay, so this is the part I have not turned over. And this is the down part. I stitched this by half of an inch, the side by half of an inch, and the neck also. So I'm going to flip this over to the right side so you guys can see. All right, so next thing I'm going to be doing would be to iron this to up, and also mark my zipper allowance, which is 1.5 inch, and the dart. Okay, so I'm going to put this away and bring the front over. Okay, so I have stitched the front part, I have joined them, and this is how it is. Okay, and this is the lining also. I did the same thing for the lining piece. Now for this front part, where for the bustier, I am going to be using this cup. Okay, when we get to that part, I'm going to be showing you the detail, how I attach the cup to the bustier. So I am folding this together because I want to cut the neck, and see the way I'm folding this, also fold it the same way. Okay, so I'm placing everything, making sure that everything aligns, and the seam on between the side and the center, I'm making sure it aligns, and I'm going to now use my pin to pin it down. Then for the upper part, I'm going to be doing the same thing. Okay, so to do this, you have to ensure that both the seams on the down part and the upper part aligns, because I am going to be cutting the neck part. Wouldn't want some parts to be wider than some parts. Okay, so I am pinning the upper part also. I am now going to take the neck measurements. So to take the neck measurement, I am going to be measuring this from the folded part on the center. I'm going to be measuring 5.075. Remember, that is the neck measurement. If you've seen the cutting part, you understand what I'm doing here. Then from this part, I am now going to subtract 4 inches. That will be the shoulder measurement. I'm taking out the shoulder now to get the neck measurement. So I'm coming down by 7 inch for the front neckline. So I am now going to connect it. Okay, so the first connection I did with my chalk, I wanted a kind of V shape, but I later changed my mind. I now made a round neck, okay, neckline. So this is what I'm trying to achieve here. I'm trying to connect a round neckline instead of the V shape I had marked earlier. Okay, so for your neckline, you can do any pattern, any style, but if you want to stick to this one, you can go ahead and stick to it. It will also come out fine. So now I am going to be taking the bust measurement, and see the way I am measuring the bust. I am going to take the around bust measurement, divide by 4, and whatever I have, I'm going to be imputing that, as you can see. Then I am now going to take extra 2 inches sewing allowance. So next measurement I'll be doing will be the under bust measurement. So on the under bust measurement, I'm going to be taking the around under bust. I'm going to be dividing that measurement by 4, and whatever I have, I'm going to be imputing on the under bust measurement. Okay, on the under bust line. Then I'm going to be imputing 2 inches extra seam allowance. Now on the waistline, I am going to be taking the waist measurement. Okay, so for the waist measurement, I'm taking the around waist measurement, the waist circumference divided by 4. Then whatever I have, I'm going to be imputing that measurement like so. Then for this part, I'm going to be leaving this seam allowance to be my sewing allowance. So on the hip line, for now, for you, you can take that hip measurement, but for me, I am going to be measuring whatever I have on the waist. I'm going to be repeating that measurement on the hip line. So I'm going to be connecting this line like this. So for this part, I'm simply going to ensure that the line is visible enough for you guys to see. So I'm going ahead to cut the excess fabric I don't need. So what I'm doing here now, I am going to be doing the same thing on the lining piece, but I'm going to be doing that off camera. Okay, for the sake of time, I'm going to be doing that off camera. So now I am going to be taking the armhole measurement. Remember, for the back we subtracted 4 inches and came down by 8 inches. So that's what I'm doing here on the front part also. So I'm subtracting 4 inches and I came down by 8 inches. You know, when I cut this front, I earlier came down by 7 inches. So I am marking 8 inches now, and I'm cutting this so that it can match with the back piece. Hope you understand. So I'm now going to go ahead to cut the neckline. So having done this, I am going to open this up now for you guys to see. This is how it is. And next thing I'm going to be doing will be to place the cup. Okay, so this is the cup. I am folding this cup into two to get the midpoint on the down part. Where I am notching is the down part. This will enable me know where to place when I'm fixing to the bustier. Okay, when I'm fixing to the dress. Now I'm going to place it directly on the under bust. So I am now going to make sure it stays okay where the part I notch, which is the midpoint of the cup. I'm now going to place it directly on the under bust. I hope you understand what I'm saying. Okay, so watch the video closely to understand what I'm doing here, and I'm making sure that everything aligns. Okay, so I am just ensuring that everything aligns, and I'm now going to take my pin and pin it down. Now, while placing your cup, don't rush on this part. You have to take it easy. Okay, take it easy, don't rush. Place the cup very well and make sure everything stays, it doesn't come out twisted. Okay, so I'm making sure that this does not twist on the right side. As you can see, I'm using my hand to place the fabric on the cup. Okay, making sure it stays well. So what I did now, I'm going to be repeating on this part. Okay, so I'm going to take the cup now, then fold it together to get the midpoint on the down part. Then I'm going to notch. After notching, I'm going to now place it directly on the under bust like I did on this other side. Then I'm going to use my pin to pin it down and continue placing it. Okay, making sure it stays. Now I'm going to be using my pin also to place the center part, the side, and just use my hand to make sure everything is in place. So after I was done, this is what I have. Okay, you can see it is not twisted on the right side, and this is the down part, the inside. I am going to now use my needle and thread to tag it. So while I'm tagging it, I'm only tagging it on the same allowance. I'm not tagging it on the main bodice, but on the same allowance. So while tagging it, there's nothing hard to this. Just take it easy while tagging. Ensure the thread is not sewn on the main bodice. Okay, so now I'm going to tag the side and the center part.
Our hearts beat to the city streets. We began to feel the fire. We rise like tall buildings.
So guys, I'm done tagging. I'm now going to turn the neckline with this lining. So after turning, this is what I have. I've turned the neckline, I have turned the down parts and the both sides. Okay, so if you're turning this, turn the neck part first, make a top stitch, then turn the down part, notch and make a top stitch. So and also turn the sides. Now I am going to flip this over to the right side for you guys to see the outcome.
Our hearts beat to the city streets. We began to feel the fire. We rise like tall buildings as the chemicals, they take us higher. The night's young and it's just begun as she puts her hand in mine. We wanna chase the night.
Guys, this is the front part, the right side. This is how it is. So as you can see, the cup is standing very well. It is cupping. So I'm going to now iron the neckline, and I'm going to iron the down part, the sides. Just give this a thorough press with my iron. So after I was done ironing, this is how it's looking. Okay, now I'm going to show you the inner part, the inside. This is how it is. Okay, this is the wrong side. And on the back bodice, I am going to be showing you how I took in the lining. All right, and this is a zipper side. Then I'm going to be fixing my zipper on this part. Okay, so guys, now I am going to now sew in the front and the back together. So I'm placing the right sides facing each other. Now I'm going to be sewing in by the allowance that I kept for stitching allowance. I'm going to be sewing in by that allowance. Okay, so take your body measurement and sew by the allowance. After sewing, this is what I have. Okay, everything is in place, and I went ahead to stitch the sleeve to the blouse. I did this off camera, so if you're interested on how to cut an off shoulder sleeve, comment on the channel, so I can show you how to drop a video on how to stitch that. Okay, I've already fixed my zipper also. Now I am going to now place these trimmings onto the main bodies like this. Okay, now this is what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to place it, making sure that everything is in place, that the trimming is well placed, and I'm going to take my pin and start pinning. Okay, I'm not just pinning. As I'm pinning, I'm making sure that everything, the trimming is well placed, that it is not folding. Okay, so if you miss this part, if you miss this part, trust me, your work will come out very taggy. So while you're pinning, don't just pin, make sure that everything is laid well. Okay, just like this is like I'm making, placing the trimmings on the main bodies. So, and I'm going to be at the end of it, I'm going to be using my pin for this. So as you can see how I am making sure everything is laid together, also do the same thing. Make sure everything is in place as you go. Use your pin and keep it in place. Okay, I hope you understand what I mean. Use your pin, keep it in place, like what I'm doing here. All right, so for the side bust, if you notice, it came out, it was excess around that area. So I just went ahead to just pin the other part, leaving the side bust, because at the end of the day I'm going to be opening that with my scissors like so. After opening this up, I am now going to overlap it. Then overlapping it, I opened this up following the pattern. So after cutting this up, it did not even show that I cut it out. I made a cut around that area. So if you have something like this, if you have it, definitely it will overlap around the side bust. So if it does that, do the same thing I'm doing here. And while you're cutting, follow the pattern and cut. Hope you understand what I mean. Then I'm just placing, and on the side bust I'm going to follow the pattern and make a cut around this area. Okay, making a cut around this area will help it be in place, help relax it. I hope you understand what I mean. Have you seen what I'm doing? So it's not even showing that I made a cut around that area because I followed the pattern, and I'm using my pin now to pin it down. Okay, I'm just pinning any part that I did not pin, making sure to pin it, because I'm going to be using my thread and needle to tag this. I'm not sewing with my machine. I'm going to be untagging this. Hope you understand what I mean. So I'm pinning the part I did not pin initially, making sure everything is in place, making sure everything laps very well. So for the sleeve, I am now going to design this using these tiny trimmings here. So for your sleeve, you can design it anyhow you want. You can even add anything to the down part of the sleeve. So this is the sleeve style my client chose, and I'm simply giving my client the style she chose. Okay, so I'm going to tag it to the sleeve. Then do the same thing for this part also. Get the sleeve midpoint and also the midpoint of the trimmings and tag it. All right, tag it to the sleeve. I hope you understand what I mean. Then to sew this, I'm going to be using an invisible thread. To sew this, I recommend an invisible thread. All right, in a short while I'm going to be showing you what, if for those of you who do not know invisible thread, I'm going to be showing you how it is. Okay, for you to know, this is how invisible thread is. This is what you'll be using to tag it. Okay, then I'm going to be tagging this around. Carefully tag this together and tag it on the net. Make sure you don't tag it on the main bodice, like the whatever you're using to line it. It's just the net part. Okay, this is the needle I'm going to be using to tag it. All right, so I'm going to take my time to tag this. It's a little bit time consuming, but trust me, you like the outcome. Okay, so at this point we have come to the end of this tutorial. And if you've not subscribed to this channel, please kindly press the subscribe button. Turn on your post notification bell for more videos. Like and share this video, and also drop a comment if you have any question in mind. So guys, thank you so much for sticking around. See you guys in my next one.